Hull now has a roller derby team. It's called the Hull's Angels Roller Dames, and they compete out of the Bonus Arena on Walton Street in the city. Team members Lady G, Nat and Jamie are here right now. And I have to say, Knuckle Duster Nat is in front of me as well. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for coming in.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Really good. It sounds incredibly fearsome, and just an illustration of how fearsome this sport is. There's me thinking that the Rugby League derby, Hull SC versus Hull Kingston Rovers, is fairly tough stuff later on. Nat, you're sporting a few injuries from being involved in this sport.
I fell over.
Well, you see, can I just say, you fell over, but you're on crutches.
I have possible soft tissue damage to my knee, and I managed to break my hand.
Is this, relative speaking, a fairly normal injury for this sport?
No, this is the first time I think anyone in our team's had this.
It's the first time we've had anyone on crutches, definitely. And
I'm just really unlucky, that's what it is.
Well, given the fact you haven't played many matches, that's not a great start, is it? Not at a competitive level, anyway.
Well, we've not played many matches, but we've been in training for about
18 months.
Yeah, about 18 months. So, because it's taken us a while, because it's a new sport to the area, it's taken us a little while to get the skills, be able to skate, learn the rules, and then work our way up to being able to compete, because there's a lot of health and safety restraints before you can actually compete in a match as well. So you have to be able to pass a lot of tests and make sure that you are safe to be playing the game.
Why do this sport? I mean, they say ladies are of the fairer sex and much more genteel compared to us fellas, but it's why do it? What's enticed you about it?
Why not do it? It's on roller skates, and it's great fun. It's a full contact sport, so it isn't for the the faint-hearted, but it's not as bad as what you imagine. And it's just a really good, great fun, and it's something different as well. Like when I was growing up, I played football, played hockey, played netball, but doing something competitive on roller skates is just fantastic, and I'm sure the guys would.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty fearsome, but we all wear pads, helmets. The first thing you do is learn how to fall properly and safely. So before you get on track and you're knocking 10 bells out of each other, you've got some basic sort of skills there, and you are fairly safe, really.
Jamie, aside from playing the sport, you referee it as well.
Yeah.
Is there a big rule system in place for the sport?
Yeah, a hell of a lot of rules. There's something like 43 pages, I think, in the rules book. And a lot of them are quite open to interpretation as well, so it can be quite difficult to referee about. We actually have 7 referees on roller skates for every match, bearing in mind there's only 10 skaters on track at a time as well. And then you also have non-skating officials in the centre of the track. Is it 14? I think it's about 14.
NSOs.
Yeah, 14 NSOs. So you actually have more officials than you have skaters, all making sure it runs properly,
Why
safely.
is that? Maybe I'm old-fashioned because I think of it in the context of football and to a certain extent rugby league. Why so many officials?
Well, it's so fast, and it's in such a small area. You've got different referees are looking at specific players to make sure that they don't. It's so easy to maybe, because you're not allowed to use elbows or be really rough like that, but if so, you've got people that are specifically looking to make sure that that person is playing safe and they're not going to hurt anyone or in an incorrect manner. Jamie knows a bit more about it than me. He's always checking I don't do the wrong things.
Well, it's quite a unique sport because you have the offence and the defence are on track at the same time, so people are trying to score points at the same time. The rest of the skaters are trying to defend against that, and both teams are doing that at the same time. So I think to the uninitiated, it looks very, very, very complex and messy, and it is to an extent, but the idea is quite simple, really. You score points by one skater on each team scores points by lapping the opposing skaters. But just because there's so much going on, that's why I need to have so many referees. And as Lady G said, there's certain bits of your body that you can't use, like your elbows, your forearms, like hitting below the knee, things like that. So referees all have to be looking out for those infractions to make sure it's played safely. And
you've all got character names for this. I know of all your actual names, they're not too dissimilar from the character names. But why? Why have these sort of character names? Is it just part of the team?
Yeah, it's the persona, isn't it, really? I mean, when I'm just being plain old me, I don't look like I'd go off and hit someone and floor them and be like, ah ha ha. But obviously not at the minute, but when I was on skates, you know, it's that rush, you know, all of a sudden, you know, you've got your crowd and it's like, I'm this person, you're the opposition, and I'm going to beat you down. It's just, you know. I
think the theatre is quite a big aspect of it. And I think for a lot of people who play it as well, it's a chance to be somebody they're not usually in real life. So they can play up to these personas, and it's almost like superheroes.
Yeah.
In a sense, is it a little bit like ice hockey as well? Because there's a fair bit of scrapping in ice hockey, but actually I think it's all within the context of the sport, and where you wouldn't necessarily in football see a couple of players going at it, fighting during a match, but in ice hockey you do. Yeah. Is there an element of it, the sort of rough and tumble that is just part and parcel of an expectancy of the sport?
Well, it is a very big spectator sport. I mean, it's a great thing to come and watch, and I'd recommend anyone to come and have a look. But this is not so much kind of like punching and fighting. But I was at a match in Leeds last weekend, and there was, before on the jam line, there's music playing, and there's like rock music and indie music, and the jammers, before they started to set off, were like doing air guitar just because there was a bit of a timeout going on, and people were like playing up to the crowds. And even though it is a very serious sport and people go to play to win, it is great to come and watch. Nat,
it's clearly a big sport in the United States, and is developing in this country. How big is it elsewhere in the world? It's obviously got its followers.
It's obviously sort of like America and Canada are number 1 and 2 in the world rankings, but England came 3rd. I think Australia were 4th. Yeah. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the world. The team that Lady G went and saw last week recently played a team in Germany and won. We've had invites from France, Belgium. You know, it's becoming international, I think, because it's very much a DIY sport. We run the league ourselves, we fund it ourselves. It's, you know, we're all on the same page, and on the track you'll have your argy-bargy, but afterwards you'll give each other a hug. You know, we're all in the same sort of like derby family.
Yeah.
What about the rest of the teams in the league? Where else are you likely to travel to throughout the course of the season?
Well, we tend to play around local local leagues. There's quite a lot in Yorkshire. There's teams in Halifax, Leeds, Wakefield. There's teams in Lincoln as well. But I mean, just an example, I play in a men's league in Sheffield, in Human League, and in July we're hoping to travel up to Glasgow to play a team there. So you do get about quite a bit.
Yeah, our next one is next Saturday, and we're going to Nottingham to play the Wolverhampton Honour Rollers. So that's probably the furthest we've gone.
That's Newcastle.
We was at Newcastle as well. Yeah, Newcastle not so long ago. But there are new teams and new leagues popping up all the time as well. I think there's one started up in York. There's one trying to start up at the moment in Driffield and in Skegness, and it's just, you know, we've only been going for 18 months, and since we've been going, other teams have started to like emerge since in that time. So, you know, in a few more years' time, like, who knows, we might be even more.
Take over the world.
Hopefully as well, because a club, we're actually known as a league, so Hull's Angels are a league rather than a team. So when we get enough skaters, we'll actually have teams within Hull's Angels, so we can have what we call intra-league. So we'll have maybe like a blue team versus a red team we'll be playing, so we can have bouts where we don't have to invite leagues from elsewhere in the country.
Well, best of luck, particularly Nat, who is on 2 crutches and has a pot on her arm, so he's certainly showing the scars of a competitive battle by the looks of it.
You love your derby bruises, the badges are on it. If I can get a derby scar, that's even cooler.
It's the same. Honestly, presenting a local radio programme today, I can't get out of here without having a fight with Bob.
We'll show you some hip checks and, you know, get you on some roller skates.
Yeah, I'll get you on some roller skates.
The last time I was on roller skates was the roller disco in Beverley, when I think 2 Unlimited were top of the charts. And I was wearing a shell suit.
Shell suit roller skates, let's make it happen.
That's right. I think we've invented a sport here now. Shell suit roller skates. Good to see you all. Thank you very much for coming in. And the next match that people should be heading to is?
Next Saturday, Nottingham. And stay tuned to our Facebook and website because we're planning to get the next home bout possibly at the end of the summer, September time. We're looking at booking some dates in then.
Excellent. We'll come back in and tell us about it. Nice to see you. And my colleague Blair Jacobs, who's back tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock, went to see you after interviewing you a couple of weeks ago. I never ever thought that I would see a tweet from Blair Jacobs saying he was at roller derby.
Excellent.
Anything is possible. Good to see you. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.